All right, friends, welcome to today's strength class. All you'll need today is a pair of light to moderate dumbbells. If you have a Swiss ball and or a bench, you can use one of those too. If not, you can just go ahead and use a mat. All right. Thank you all again for coming. Here is our waiver. Again, this is the last week of Cube Fit classes. So thank you all for grinding with me. I appreciate it every Monday for strength class. Wednesday, Coach Kimber will be your coach for strength, and then I'll be on for death stretch tomorrow. Okay, so thank you all for coming. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to email us or send us a message. Next year's Cupid classes will resume on January 13th. All right, and you'll see me for strength. So thanks again for coming. Really great year. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing. Let's go and start moving. All right, I'll go ahead and spotlight myself. Thanks everyone for joining today. All right, let's get it. All right, friends, go ahead and have your feet directly underneath your hips. We're going to go ahead and just do a couple reverse lunges. Go ahead and have your hands either on your hips or across your shoulders, or you can have them on your side if you'd like. We're going to go ahead and have our knee touch the floor, and then we're going to go and stand up. Again, if you don't have this full range of motion, you can just go ahead and have your hands on your thighs to add a little bit more support, or if you have something right next to you to help you have a little bit more support, you can go ahead and totally do that. Or just try to get a little bit of the lunge pattern if you cannot go all the way down. We'll do about 4 on your right, 4 on your left. Once you finish, I'm going to go ahead and have you do a little bending. So we'll have your feet directly underneath your hips. Go ahead and have your hands across your shoulders, and then go ahead and push your hips back, and then we'll go ahead and stand up all the way. We'll do about 8 to 10 reps. 8 to 10 reps. Again, as you're performing this movement too, just make sure you kind of hold your belly button together, or squeeze your belly button as you bend down, and then go to exhale as you come up. And then last one, let's go ahead and do a couple arm circles forward, please. We started just a little late today. I want to get you all moving as we have a pretty good amount of reps today, or a pretty good amount of movements. Then we're going to go backwards. And then feel free to do a couple horizontal arm swings while I'll do some technical stuff on my end real quick. All right, we're ready. So we got some, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different movements. We have a squatting movement, a pressing movement. We are doing a horizontal press, some pulling, a bending, and then some curling. All right, so the very first movement, we have a goblet squat today. All repetitions will be anywhere between 10 to 15 reps. And we are going to go ahead and grab your dumbbell, or if you want to go and do body weight, we can go and do body weight. All right, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, a couple intervals, and try and get as much work done as we can while we are in class. So go ahead and have your feet directly outside of your hips. Take your toes, slightly point them out, please. Take your dumbbell either for the horizontal position or in the vertical position. Again, if you don't want to use a dumbbell, you do not have to. We're going to go ahead and squat down and try and get as much range of motion as we can. Then we're going to go stand up. Again, try and do anywhere between 10 to 15 repetitions. As you're performing this movement, again, trying to get as much range of motion as you can. We are trying to achieve knee flexion. I'll go from the side here. So again, if you don't have your dumbbell, we're going to go ahead and have your hands right in front of you, and then go ahead and bring it to your side. Look and have your chest nice and tall. And then as we're standing up again, push our hips back, sit down, stand all the way up. That'll be your squat, either loaded or unloaded. Once you finish, we're going to go and use your dumbbells and put them in the front rack. We're going to do a strict press. Again, 10 to 15 repetitions. So we'll take the dumbbells, put them in the front rack position. Make sure your base is nice and wide or just outside of your hips. And then we're going to go and press, lock out our elbows, bring it back down to our shoulders or to our starting position, and then repeat the movement. As we are pressing, we're looking to get our earlobes somewhere around our bicep area. So this will be full range of motion. Come back down. Full range of motion. Come back down. Again, we're repeating on both arms. Pushing up. Locking out our elbows. Having our dumbbells just nice and straight. Again, bring some awareness to where your lumbar is. So if you feel your lumbar is too extended, really focus on bringing your lumbar down or bring your belly button towards your low back. The next movement is we have a Swiss ball bench press, or if you have your bench, or we're going to go ahead and do that on the ground. Totally up to you. I'll bring this ball out. We're going to go ahead and take a seat on the ball if you have one. If not, we're going to go on the ground. We're going to go ahead and have our pinkies or bring our thumbs in towards us. So our dumbbells are at 45 degrees. Bring the dumbbells up here towards our chest and then repeat the process. Again, 10 to 15 reps. Again, if you're on the ground, you have limited range of motion. That's okay as you're still working, contracting your pecs or your chest muscles. But as the dumbbells are going down, take a nice big breath. And then as you press away, exhale. Again, anywhere between 10 to 15 repetitions, friends. Again, if you don't have a Swiss ball and you have a bench next to you, feel free to use that bench. Same thing. You have a lot more range of motion. If you don't have either, you can just go ahead and go on the ground. That way we're getting some contractions here in our chest. All right, so we finished the squat, finished strict press, finished the bench. Now we're going to go ahead and do an alternating bent over row. So we're going to go ahead and have our feet directly underneath our hips. Make sure our shoulders are nice and parallel to the floor. And then we're actually going to start with one dumbbell here in the row position. One dumbbell will be extended. And then as we alternate, we're going to go ahead and just take place of the other arm. Okay. So this will be about 10 reps on your right, 10 reps on your left. So you're receiving a contraction every repetition. A little bit more different than just doing a regular row. Just alternating here. Again, try not to rush the movement either. Really focus on keeping your elbows fully locked out as you extend the other arm. And then keep that dumbbell close to your rib cage. Also really focus again on keeping your shoulders nice and parallel to the floor. That way you're fully able to target that side or really get the dumbbell close to your rib cage. All right, so we finished the squat, strict press, dumbbell bench, the bench over row. The next one will be a glute bridge, and then after that will be a curl. But since we're already standing, let's go ahead and do that curl, and then we'll go to the floor, okay? Or if you want to go and do that glute bridge first, you totally can. So we'll go palms up here, feet underneath your hips, and go and take the dumbbells, bring them all the way up to your shoulders. Again, just training multiple parts of our body, doing mostly full body today. Trying to get as much volume and repetitions as we can. And doing one big superset. Squeezing your biceps as you are bringing the dumbbells close to your shoulders or closer to your shoulders. And also keeping them engaged on the way down. Again, anywhere between 10 to 15 reps. I'm going to go ahead and just rest, let my hands rest a little bit. We got one last movement. That will be the dumbbell glute bridge. If you want to go ahead of me, you totally can. The next movement will be the goblet squat, going back up to the top. So once you're ready, you can go ahead and grab that dumbbell or dumbbells if you like. We're going to go on the ground, have our heels closer to our glutes. Have the dumbbells here on our hip with our hands on the dumbbell for some stability. Go ahead, extend your hip, and then go ahead and bring your hips down until your glutes make contact with the ground. And then repeat that process. Again, try to create a nice straight line from our knees all the way to our hip bone. Again, you should feel a nice contraction here in your hamstrings and your glutes area. You might even feel a little bit in your calves or your gastroc, as this is mostly a posterior chain movement. Again, anywhere between 10 to 15 reps. Do not rush the reps. Again, really focus on the eccentric or the lowering part of the lift, the movement. And then once you are done, let's go ahead and rest. And then we're going to go back up to the top and repeat the second interval, starting with the goblet squat. I'm going to go and take a nice little sip of water. We got the goblet squat next. All right, I'm going to go with some body weight here. So again, if you don't have a dumbbell in front of you, feel free to use your arms to counterbalance. So have your feet just outside your hips. Again, toes slightly point them out. Again, really try to focus on getting as much depth or range of motion as you can. That way you build strength in different range of motion. Again, strength is gained in the range of motion that it is trained. So if you have good hips, you have good knees, try your best to get as much depth as you can. That way you can really build strength at the very bottom or the deepest part of the squat that you can get into. And then while you're doing this, also try and focus on keeping your chest nice and tall, having a nice good squat. That way when you do a back squat or a front squat, or maybe even a squat clean, your body knows those positions. Anywhere between 10 to 15 reps. Once you finish, go ahead and grab your dumbbells. We're going to go on the front rack and do the strict press. I'm going to go ahead and just go ahead and kind of go body weight. Stance varies here, but for the most part, again, just try to have your hips just outside of your hips or just in unison with your hips. That way you have a little bit more stability in your base, especially if you're doing something relatively pretty heavy. Again, keep the dumbbells neutral too. That way you protect your shoulders. You can keep them nice and safe. If you're kind of here, it exposes your shoulder a little bit. Could cause some irritation. I'll use this as an example. So this is the neutral position. This is kind of the open position. So this can kind of cause a little bit of discomfort, especially if you're doing any sort of incline press or dumbbell bench press or regular bench press. I always like to train in the neutral position. But again, feel free to do kind of what's comfortable for you. Do tons of different ways, tons of different angles. That is your strict press. I'm going to go ahead and go on the ground and do the dumbbell bench. You can kind of be just outside, somewhere around your kind of glutes areas or just kind of comfortable position. Elbows will be fully immersed in the floor. Again, take your pinkies or your thumbs, bring them towards each other. That way your dumbbells are at 45 degrees. Again, keep them more so in a neutral position. Again, just kind of like what I showed or demonstrated in the shoulder press example. The dumbbells can be horizontal, but for me, it causes a little bit of irritation. So I always just like to bring my pinkies in slightly. And then just remember, as the dumbbells are going towards the floor or towards your heart, breathe in, and then go and exhale as they go away from you. All right, good job, friends. While we're on the ground, let's go ahead and do that dumbbell glute bridge. That way we don't have to get back up and go back down again. So if you want to go ahead and grab both dumbbells, you totally can. But if you just want to utilize your singular dumbbell, you can. If you're just going to go body weight, you can go ahead and have your hands maybe underneath your glutes if you like, or just to your side. Again, have your heels closer toward your glutes. Go ahead and extend your hip. And then have your glutes touch your hands, the top of your hands, or the ground underneath you. Again, 10 to 15 reps. And then once you're done, you can go ahead and stand up. We got a couple more movements. All right, so we finished the squat, the strict press, the dumbbell, the glute bridge. We got two more movements. That will be, again, the alternating bent over row. And then we're going to go ahead and finish off with that curl. So once your hands are rested, we're going to go ahead, again, start with one dumbbell fully extended. One dumbbell will be at your side with your shoulders parallel to the floor. And then we're going to go ahead and alternate every rep. Keep your elbows in. So try to focus on keeping your elbows in. Don't let your elbows go out. Again, your elbows should be pretty much tucked in and slash in line with the dumbbell and your shoulders. Again, squeeze your belly button and your abs, as it can be a little tiring to be in this position a little bit. So again, really focus on squeezing your muscles. 4 reps. All right. Back goes Jack now. All right, once you finish that movement, we're gonna go and go back up to the curl. That'll be our second interval. Again, anywhere between 10 to 15 reps. Again, the lower the rep range, more strength that we're training in. The higher the rep range, more muscular endurance. Could be lighter loads. Again, depending on your goals, you want to train adequate amount of rep range that's suitable for you and your capabilities and your goals. All right, going fast. We got a couple more minutes. I know we have a couple more minutes left in class. I'm just gonna have to do a couple ab exercises, 1 or 2, and then we're gonna go ahead and adjourn. All right, so once you finish, we're gonna go ahead and grab that dumbbell or one dumbbell. One side will be fully loaded. We're gonna go ahead and have our hand, opposite hand on our hip, and then we're gonna go ahead and flex toward that side that you're holding the dumbbell. Kind of work a little bit of our obliques and our abs, or side abs. As you flex, go back to parallel, maybe even slightly flex on the other side. But for the most part, we're just really working that side that's loaded. Anywhere between 10 to 15 reps per side again. Once you finish that side, we'll do the opposite on the other side. So same thing, hand on that hip. And that hand that you have the dumbbell is working / loaded. Just doing some lateral flexion. And then once you finish, I'm actually going to have you grab both. I'll have you flex on both sides same time while holding the dumbbells. You might find yourself rocking a little bit. That's all right. And then once you finish, you can go ahead and rest. I'll go ahead and stop the recording now, everyone. Thank you all again for joining me today. Really appreciate it. Again, classes will resume in January.